the year 1997, the world saw the introduction of the first social media platform. It was a networking site called 6degrees. This site was soon followed by other social networking sites such as Friendster, MySpace, YouTube, and of course Instagram and Facebook. Each of these platforms offered a new connection to people all over the world, with the ease of accessibility. Since their introduction, social media accounts have become increasingly popular among all demographics. In a 2020 article published by Statista, Jay Clement, who is a researcher with a focus on internet and e-commerce, stated that there are currently an estimated 3.6 billion people using social media worldwide. In other words, social media has become such a prevalent aspect of our lives that nearly half of the world's population can be found on one or more of these sites. The prominent usage of these platforms begs the question, what are the effects of social media, and how do these sites affect mental health, depression and anxiety, and life satisfaction in general? Now, the general newness of social media leaves the effects of such a major introduction relatively unexplored. Sites such as Facebook and Instagram allow people to post pictures of themselves or their experiences, updates about their status, and to message other users. In return, their friends or family, known as their followers, can respond with likes, comments, and even reactions, such as sad or laughing. What used to be a method of staying in touch with friends and family has now turned into people posting what will get them the most likes or the most engagement, and it has also turned into a political battleground. At the very least, social media has the potential to stifle creativity and individuality, creating an environment where one must present their lives as good enough to keep their engagement from their audience or risk losing their followers. Now, in regard to the two questions asked in the beginning of this speech, what are the effects of social media, and how does social media affect mental health, depression, and life satisfaction? Well, in a 2019 article that was published in the International Journal of Adolescence and Youth, Dr. Anne-Marie Grillish, who is a lecturer in mental health nursing, states that both active and passive use of Facebook correlated with an increased frequency of depressed mood. And she also noted that the prevalence of anxiety and depression has increased by 70% in the past 25 years in young people. Now, whether this is due to increased social media use or to improved screening and diagnostic tools for mental health, or for some other reason is unknown, but the correlation between such a noticeable rise in mental health issues and with the prevalence of social media should be further investigated. And while correlation does not necessarily equal causation, the evidence surely seems to point to social media as a large factor in the upswing of depression and anxiety in the last 25 years. Now, in a 2013 article published in the Public Library of Science, Dr. Ethan Kross, Ph.D., who is a researcher with the University of Michigan, assessed the effect that Facebook had on subjective well-being in adults. In this study, well-being was defined as how people feel moment to moment and how satisfied they are with their lives. It was determined by Dr. Kross that the more people used Facebook at one time point, the worse they felt, and the more their life satisfaction levels declined over time. This study also concluded that rather than enhancing well-being, Facebook actually seemed to undermine it. Furthermore, in a different study published in 2018 in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, Dr. Brian Premick, a researcher with expertise in interrelationships between media, technology, and health, states that in a study of 19 to 32-year-olds, there are robust linear associations between increased social media use and increased perceived social isolation, even after adjusting for a comprehensive set of covariates. In other words, when people use social media, they tended to have increased feelings of isolation from friends, as well as increased feelings of loneliness. It's interesting that a network that is designed to connect people actually seems to be the catalyst in a subset of feelings of loneliness, isolation, and other mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. Now, in conclusion, the usage of these sites infers at least some sort of causality between mental health problems, decreased life satisfaction, and decreased well-being. Social media usage may also perpetuate feelings of social isolation and loneliness rather than connect people. Now, there are many factors when it comes to mental health. However, social media does seem to be one factor with a large effect. sometimes the best thing that you can do for your mental health is to unplug for a while.